Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am beyond hyped. I'm always hyped to talk to people, but because of what we're talking about tonight and the awesomeness of it, I'm beyond hyper hyped. You know the face, you've seen him many times here before. It is Paul Stewart, and we are here to talk about breaking boundaries in Leeds at the Attic, end of this month. Dude, let's do this. Let's big it up.
Yeah, can't wait now. Less than 2 weeks away, so scary times, but at the same time, big message to be sent out there, and hopefully a great show for everyone and a nice introduction to maybe some new fans. So, yeah, everything to look forward to.
That's the key word, mate. New fans for me, because obviously, we know a load of people that are going to be there. There're going to be a load of familiar faces there. But I said it to you before I hit record, kind of thing, on the Work the Left Side Insta account. I put a post out earlier, to hype up the show, and I kind of sort of said, it's probably, in my opinion, one of the most important shows to ever be put on in Leeds because of what it stands for, what it means, the cause. We've talked numerous times. Obviously, Thomas had his episode. We talked about it after that, and we kind of planted the seeds. Then you kind of had this was in the works back then. It was something you wanted to do, and the whole point of the show is, I say, to raise awareness, to raise money for a great cause, and hopefully to introduce people, new fans, to wrestling, and the positive impact that community, those shows can have on them. And that's the importance for me. That's why it's so important, because there's got to be people there that know how great wrestling is and know all about that. But mate, if we can get some new people in, if you're responsible for a new wave of fans and the positive impact it has on their life, on their kids, that's the importance.
Yeah, definitely. Like we found our answers by coming to wrestling shows. It's no secret that Thomas had his issues leading up to finding wrestling, and it was just by chance that Becky saw a show being promoted. There we met Wesley, and then Thomas, ever since then, has just got, higher and higher, more confidence. He's just, he's an absolutely different child now. So if we can give that to somebody else, that's like the aim for me. It is nice to bring that new wave of fans into UK wrestling. But at the same time, as you said, it's good for them children if they can find their escape or their calling through pro wrestling. That's where I believe that I've made my role to be that bridge in between the two. We have a neurodiverse community, we have the pro wrestling community, and then we build that bridge, and we can cross it and make a great partnership.
Yes, exactly. Because, like, you sort of said there, anybody who knows True Grit, anybody who's been to a True Grit show, they will know Thomas. They'll know you. You've been in the ring. Thomas has been in the ring, and like I said, the tips. When I spoke to him on that episode, dude, that was amazing. His confidence, everything like that. So if any other kids can have that effect by going to a wrestling show because of this show, dude, yeah, I'm not overselling it. That's the thing, is I might sound like I'm not exaggerating. It's not an exaggeration. This could be that moment in a kid's life where they go to the first show, fall in love with it, feel comfortable, and man, their confidence grows, whether they get into wrestling down the road or if it just makes them feel more confident in their day-to-day stuff growing up, mate. Yeah, so that's the goal. And to do that, though, sorry, mate, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like, for any wrestling fan, there's always a moment when you're watching wrestling, or even if you play the computer games, where you would decide what your character would be, what you would wear, what music you'd have, and things like that. And this is where I find pro wrestling to have such a healthy impact, especially on a person that does have a neurodivergence. Some like every person has a character. In the real life, I am my character, Thomas is his character, you are your character. And unfortunately, I do find that sometimes some people's characters aren't accepted for whatever reason. It may be like, even when it has come to Pride shows, we've been met with some horrible comments. People do tend to not sometimes like things that are different, or that they don't accept as being right. But I find with pro wrestling that every character is accepted. You can accept an Undertaker, you can accept a Kane. These are larger than life characters, and people accept them. People make them champions. People cheer for them. People boo them. But in wrestling, you can be whatever you want to be and be accepted. And that's why the neurodiverse community needs to be in the wrestling community, because they're accepted.
Yes, that's it. Obviously, we're talking, it's a show for a great cause. All the money raised will go to a great charity, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode. But obviously, it's a wrestling show. There's going to be wrestlers. There's going to be matches. There's a tournament. We've kind of we know the 2 semi-finals. There's a couple of tag matches. Obviously, all the talent involved is people that we know as true grit fans. I've said it before, it's all sort of faces that we're familiar with. But yeah, getting them on board, that must have been obviously the first obstacle. Is right, I've got a wrestling show. I know what I want to do. Who do I book? Because you're the booker, man. I'm not going to go Brian Pillman on you. I do respect to the booker, man. But yeah, that must have been the first hurdle.
Yeah, definitely. At first, like in terms of booking the show and seeing who we wanted on it, I must admit I did have it in my head that I would have had wrestlers that represent the neurodiverse community themselves. And it could also be seen as maybe like a role model, and children could see, like, I can do it if I want to do it. These guys can do it. And then it sort of stemmed from there that maybe it doesn't have to be that the wrestlers do have a neurodivergence of any sort. It could be a wrestler that would appeal to somebody with a neurodivergence. So you've got like colourful characters, and you've got your Axel the Clowns that are, appealing. And yeah, so that was then the route that we took there.
Alfie as well. We talked about this months ago with DD. Like so Eddie Sensory, the feel, stuff like that.
Yeah, and Lily Winter as well. The Snow Queen. So yeah.
But like I said, it's getting these guys on board as well. Obviously, I'd like to say I know some of these people through doing episodes with them or talking to them, in real life kind of thing, and they're all awesome human beings, and I'm sure they were more than happy to jump on board and help raise awareness and just put on a good show as well. Because that's the thing, that there's going to be a lot of eyes on this. Or there should be a hell of a lot of eyes on this. So this is their time to sort of just, bring it up a notch, show people what they're missing, if it's their first show, and put on such a show that they want to come back again.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we hope to do. We are hoping to have a new wave of fans in there. So it's important that what's done on the night retains that group of fans. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that there should be, a lot of memorable moments in there, and a lot of matches that aren't common to UK wrestling. We've tried to sort of touch on them, stimuluses and, different sort of sensory aspects of it. Like this was a huge leaf out of Bopper's book and his vision. Absolutely. I'm heartbroken because Bopper has been on this journey with me. He still is on this journey with me, but unfortunately he can't make the show itself. But you know, the ideas of having different matches for different sensory aspects of it. That's a leaf out of Bopper's book. I had an idea that I wanted to do a show, but in terms of how to do the show, what to make sure is in there, a lot of that is credit to Bopper. So a huge shout out to him. Like he has been on this journey with me all the way through, you know, and he still remains on the journey with me. So praise to Bopper.
Bopper, big Bopper. Yeah, legitimately what a dude. But I mean, we've been talking about, like, you know, like you said, some of the matches. You mentioned him before, Axel. You know, Axel the Clown. Axel the Clown versus. I know you're a big fan of this guy as well, so it was no surprise to see him on the card, Mr. Ernest Boggs.
Yeah. So we've got 3 stages of fun match. So I've still got to think of what my stipulation is, because we've come to the agreement that Boggs gets a stipulation for 1 fall, and Axel gets a stipulation for another fall. And should it go to a 3rd fall, then I get the stipulation. So none of them have confirmed yet what the stipulation is. So I can't give any more news on that, unfortunately. But it may come down on the day. It may just be on the spot. So I can imagine it's going to be fun.
On the morning, mass messages. Everybody, if you've got any Lego, bring Lego. And the third stipulation. Or bring duplexes.
I don't know whether we've ever had a 3 stages of fun match before. And then we have a lights out match. This is to trigger the visual side of it, you know, the sensory and the aesthetics, all the visual side of it. So we're hoping to not to a level like it's too dark and it goes dangerous, but we can have like a blackout light, which brings out UV neon colours. So, you know, what an aesthetic that would be for the first time at a wrestling show, and I couldn't possibly think of better people to represent it than Misery Business and you know, Jay Vertigo and Pop Punk Kid teaming up together. So that's gonna be amazing.
I'm just thinking like UV body paint or something. How cool would it be? You know, like they're coming out with like, that'd be awesome.
I've got the body paints.
Oh yes, 4 guys as well who will absolutely smash it. You know, you could put them in any situation, in any match. Alan Kay, Joe Wade, Jake Silver, and Jay Vertigo, 4 of the very best, and they will absolutely deliver. And the fans will have a massive smile on the face after that one. I'm hyped for that one.
Oh, me too. There's such a mixture of you know, athlete in there as well. You've got the powerhouses of Alan Kay. You've got the high flying of Jay Vertigo. You know, what a spectacle that's going to be under UV light. And you've got the striking of Joe Wade. Just, it's going to be mind blowing. Like, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. We mentioned Alfie. Obviously, we mentioned Lily Winter. They will be facing off as well.
Yeah, common foes. They've wrestled each other a lot recently. Other promotions, like when I've reached out to them and said, you know, would you be interested in taking on Alfie? Definitely, I'd love to go. I'd go there again, and likewise, you know, they're up for putting on a match. They have a lot of matches all over the place, so any chance for them to mix it up in the ring, they're going to take it. So that's going to be a clash. And it's good to see them both back as well in the True Grit ring.
Yes. Seconded, definitely. And again, though, like I said, that's got the aesthetics of, we said it before, you know, obviously DD with the touch, the feel, the cloth, everything like that. And then you got Lily Winters with like the Snow Queen. If we can get something, you know, so, because obviously, something like in the kind of like the way that Bopper does with the bubbles, you know, if there's anything you could do for like to replicate the snow or the kind of a little bit of cold feel or something.
Yeah, we may have something that will, that will give you them vibes.
Yes,
So
dude.
that's the idea of this match. It's the sort of feeling, the touching, having that sensory of bubbles, like for instance
Yeah.
Bopper, Snow and Dee with a soft teddy bear. So that was the sort of look that we went for in this match. That's the sense that we were hoping to broaden.
Mate. Another tag match, obviously due to his gnarliness at True Grit. Obviously, I could presume it would have been Nash spoke previously, but now it is Ace and Wes versus Brad Matthews and the Regime Nash.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of unfinished business with Wesley and the Regime still going on now. I did have to mix this one up a bit because I did book Nashville as a tag team themselves. Both of them still wanted to be in the event, and they both wanted to go at each other. So, yeah, what better way? I looked at who's left, and Wes would take any opportunity to fight the Regime, and the Regime obviously wouldn't mind softening that blow a bit for Wesley before the last rights match where he goes up against James Carr to end it once and for all. So huge opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. That will be, that's going to be a nice little contributor for the fans who go to York and Left Bank on a month-to-month basis. It's a familiar feel and a little bit of a continuation of that situation. Then we got the tournament as well. We have got, obviously, this is where I totally mess up the graphics. I want to say HT Drake versus Aiden Sparks, and then Sean O'Leary versus Gung Ho Mutley in the semi-finals.
Yes. So the way that this one worked out was HC Drake is killing all gimmicks. He's showing a real nasty side to himself. He's inserted himself into this event, and Aiden Sparks has took exception to it. He doesn't like bullies. He is the bully beater. HC Drake likes to shower us all with water, another sensory thing. So Aiden Sparks wants to bring the fire and he wants to beat the bully. So we have water versus fire. We have bully versus bully beater. Set to be explosive. Fire and water don't mix. Only one of them can prevail. So that's going to be the tasty semi-final.
I'm hyped for this. Get to see Aiden in action. Again, somebody I think very, 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 very highly of. Hyped to see him involved in this as well, because I know it'll be something that's close to his heart. It'll be something, that he's going to push and hype up, and he's just going to be really happy to be there. And then, if he puts HT Drake in his place as well, winner, fight a dinner.
He's hyped. He's very determined. He's messaging me a lot, saying it's a big deal for him to be debuting on True Grit, and he isn't gonna go down as easy as I think HT Drake thinks. It's not going to be an easy night's work for him.
Oh no. I wouldn't look past Aiden on this. No, as great as you know how much we appreciate HT. We've picked him up so many times on episodes. The dude's just a legitimate boss. He's a master of everything. But if he's taking Aiden lightly, nah. This is not going to be. This is the sparks that lights the fire, and Drake could be in for a rude awakening.
It could be, and we've seen it before. I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I think Nathan took me a bit lightly. And if someone's got a point to prove and something and an opportunity to take, they don't go down, and they will fight until they prove that point. So I couldn't say which way it's going to go.
No, I'm torn on this one. Like I said, you'd think Drake, but man, like I say, I just can't. It's that kind of thing of, it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog kind of thing. And Aiden will just go. It just reminds me of, like, a Steve Rogers. If he gets beaten up, he'll just stand back up again and be like, "I can do this all night." And just come on, like, yes, come on, Aiden.
And we've got the title on the line as well, so this is what they're fighting for, and an absolute beautiful championship. I'm gonna be gutted when we do find a champion who's not at home with me anymore. But it's a lovely belt on the on the line for it. Props to a pair that have actually had that design for me. I reached out because I didn't really have a clue on belts. I didn't know what I was looking for. I had like people quoting me and saying, you might need this, you might need that, triple plating, dual plating, later. I'm like, I don't know what any of it means. And I just reached out to a lad. I'd never ever met him before. Spoke to him a lot through Facebook, but I'd never actually met him. And I know that belts are his thing. He has about 17 of them. And he said to me, leave it with me. And he said, what do you want on it? I told him everything that I wanted, or all the ideas that I had. And they literally put it all into the design of the belt. All the small details that are in it. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick it up, but we have the iron title. So iron is a reflection of the strength. It's the inclusive roster of neurodiversity, but it's built up with jigsaw pieces. So the plate is all jigsaw pieces. It's predominantly gold, but a couple of the pieces are silver. So that is like a representation of the neurodivergence within the whole community. But you don't finish that jigsaw piece. You don't make that community without them pieces in it. So it's quite an inclusive design. You've got the inclusive infinity symbol, with all gemstones, different colours. I think you capture it there well. So all aspects of it have been thought through so carefully. It's the same shape and plate as the existing True Grit Championships. And then the strap is purple and yellow. That's a nod to Thomas because of the DLD. That's predominantly the colours that they use for raising awareness of DLD. So every aspect, these were all ideas that I rolled off to him, and then he put it together to me. They even drove it up from Yeovil, and Jason, who designed it for me, along with his missus, he's coming up to the show to watch it, so he's going to see the person crowned. So, great feeling all round, and this is another example of everyone coming to help me, and put this on. This isn't just a me thing. I've had a lot of help from a lot of people. Like, I want to be the bridge, and everyone's helped me do that.
All bridges have good support systems.
Yes, exactly. And I couldn't have asked for a better one. Every part that I've needed supporting, whether it be the belt, whether it be a promotion that I know would guide me in the right way, whether it be advertising like we are now, promoting, all aspects of it. I've had somebody that I can fall back onto. The booking of the matches, the idea, that's where Bopper came in, making sure that I am prepared for potentially what neurodivergences we may see in the crowd, and how I can be prepared for that, having medics in place, should it be overwhelming for anyone. So I feel well supported, and I can go to anyone for it.
Dude, that's awesome. The other semi-final is obviously Mr. Only and Gung Ho.
Yes, they've had some battles, haven't they? We've seen them have mixed martial arts when they were at True Grit. So we've seen them wrestle at Blackheart as well. Like, what an incredible match that was. So these two have mixed it up a lot. So another great semi-final as well. And Sean is very open about autism and autism awareness, and he talks a lot about it. He's an advocate for it. So I know that this is something that he's interested in, that he's invested in as well. So that is great to have him on board.
And yeah, like I said, him and Motley have got that chemistry. That's going to be awesome. And nothing's going to hook new fans quicker than seeing Gung Ho Motley just get slapped in the face. Or Sean will bring that intensity. But we're talking about entertainment as well, and there's very few people that are just their character, that just get what they are doing and will entertain the fans better than a majority of other people, and that's what Gung Ho will bring to this show. It will be one. I guarantee it. After the show's finished, when everybody's talking, he will be one of the people that everybody's talking about. It'll be in a lot of people's top threes, like moments, or when this bit happened, or when this bit happened. It'll be Caddy and Gung Ho that will stick there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's no secret that Gung Ho Motley is the most booked person for sponsorship matches when it comes to True Grit shows. So when there's a sponsorship opportunity, people are choosing Gung Ho Motley more than anyone else. So it's obvious that that's who people want to see. So he was definitely going to be on the show, and he's really proud to represent this as well. It's an important thing for him as well.
Oh, that's a semi-final though as well though. So yeah, again, I've thought, I can't literally, my heart wants to say Sean, my head's thinking, Gung Ho will find some way to sort of weasel through and add that belt to the medal collection. But yeah, regardless, we could get Aiden versus Gung Ho in the final. We could get Aiden versus Sean. We could get HT Drake versus Sean. HT Drake versus Gung Ho. I mean, you want to talk gimmick killer? I'd hate to see what it would do to Gung Ho's tally board, and those medals and the lacrosse stick and stuff. That's all getting broken. If HT Drake gets his hands on Gung Ho, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the absolute unthinkable of Gung Ho Motley, not only breaking the 100% loss record, but going on and getting 2 on the run and being a champion. Yeah.
Mate, that would be, can you imagine? That would be like, they would, I'm pretty certain he would hire like a little minibus and do like a lap around Leeds with the belt just sitting on top of the bus or something.
An open top bus.
Yeah.
I actually think that could make, national newspaper if Gung Ho Motley won it. Well,
just do a lap. Mate, yeah. If that never happens at some point, I'm going to be absolutely devastated. But yeah, that's the thing, though. That's what this match is going to bring as well. So, it's raising awareness. It's for a great cause. But it's going to be, there's great people involved. There's great matches. It's got me fantasy booking. It's got us both. I say you fantasy booking. You're a little bit more, you are the booker man. I'm just sat here. I'm not hyped for it. You know what I'm like when I get hyped for a show, mate. My mind goes into overdrive. I'm like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And yeah, that's what this show is doing to me. So that is a massive compliment because, yeah, mate, I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, me too. There's like a couple of other things that'll be going on as well. I'm doing a merch. I am doing some merch, by the way, for this show. A lot of things for glowing in the dark, a lot of sensory toys. So that'd be a great visual as well. So there's all glow in the dark bands and stuff and lights. So there'll be a good aesthetic for the glow in the dark match. There's a lot of small toys for people to play with. So yeah, that's going to be going on. But then I'm doing a cosplay parade. So during the interval, I tend to find that a lot of people that when they first get into wrestling, and I know that it's like when Thomas saw wrestling, one of the first things that he thought about was how he'd want to be if he was a wrestler, what he'd want to be like. Would it be a wrestler? Would it be a character of his own? And when he did make his appearance in True Grit, that was his character. That's who he wanted to be. And it was nice for me to see, because then I could direct him to be that character that he chose. I can support him to be that character. So I've put on this cosplay parade where people can choose their music, choose their attire, and then they can come out and have an entrance in front of a crowd, so they get that feeling of being a wrestler. So like that, I'm still taking slots if anyone's interested in that. I've got some belters. I've had some people reach out already, and some of them are going to be really, really good to watch, almost as good as the wrestling matches. Some of them may, really surprise us, but some of the requests that I've had to do it, I'm excited to see them as well. Some people are like portraying existing wrestlers, and some are actually making up their own character and seeing what response they get from the crowd. So that'll be nice for the crowd as well, just see who comes out next and how they react to them. So I'm looking forward to that part as well, giving people a memory. So
yeah, well, that's it. Like I said, because of the kind of show it is, yeah, you want it to be family friendly. You got this, mate. That sounds like an amazing idea as well, because that again, as well as the matches being put on, that's the kind of sort of things people are going to remember. Those kids, like you sort of say, you give them that entrance, they walk through that curtain, music going, dude, man, there's so many smiles. Their faces are just going to be beaming, and it's just going to be like, what I mean? They're going to get that 20 seconds, 30 seconds of just glory. It's just going to be like, oh, mate, yeah, man, that sounds awesome. I'm excited for that as well.
It's good for like the parents as well, though, because like for me and Rebecca with Thomas, when he made that entrance, like I sort of said before, it was a chance for us to see what does Thomas want to be. Would he have wanted to be like an amplified version of himself? Would he want to be a completely different character? Some people see it, like some people can wrestle completely different to who they are. You look at Ollie Burns, he wrestled as Priscilla, which is a completely different character to the live. So it was like a complete escape from the normal life, or just like a way of being something completely different. Like some people choose to venture that way, and then some people just sort of maybe quiet and they just louden up a bit and become a bit more exaggerated of who they already are. Or if they're a little bit arrogant, they become very arrogant or very, very grumpy. So
can you imagine if a kid comes out of Sash?
Yeah.
You imagine some kid comes out dressed as Sash. I'll be like, no, he's back.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Especially if that's who they aspire to be. Yeah.
Like that kid's grounded for like a month. Don't let him out.
Yeah, but I just think it's nice then, because you can guide them as well. You can support them to be who they want to be or who they dream to be.
Unless it's Sash, and then you send them to therapy.
Yeah, no, go with something else.
I'm only kidding, Sash. We miss you already. But yeah, that's awesome. So, like I said, you've got the glow stick. But I've got to ask, because I've just thought, obviously, with the sensory feel, I was just thinking like fidget spinners and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I know everybody dumped on the spinner title, back in the day, the John Cena spinning title. Again, I don't know, it might have been that it's crazy cost. It would have cost you like freaking twice as much. But did you ever think like, could we do a spinning title? Because obviously the sensory fidget spinner side of things.
I actually didn't, but I may be wrong on this. But the lad who designed this belt for me, Jason, he does have a collection of belts, and he is coming to the show. So we may have some belts come up with him for people to see. And if he has I think it's 17 titles. So I'm pretty sure that he'll probably have some spinning title there. So yeah, I don't know why that never really. I think I give him that much to work with. I just said, oh, it could have this, it could have a DLD, it could be a jigsaw, it could be inclusivity. And he said, there you go, have it all. So I think the only thing that I didn't add on to it was, can you make it spin?
I mean, don't get me wrong, that's just like a thought I just thought now. And who knows, man, whoever wins the belt might take it upon themselves, to be like, you know what, I'm going to keep this belt, but I'm going to have a spinning belt as well. I'm going to have 2 belts. So I've got a spinning one and a normal one. But yeah, man, that's just, again, it's just things like that is what you can kind of think of, or, it's things that you think about, down the road. It's just kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe not this time. Obviously, when this is going to be this will be a success, everybody's going to love it. Putting that out into the universe to manifest. Hopefully it's not hopefully it's not aged you too badly. And next time I see you, you're not all grey from stress. And you might want to do it again. Make it an annual thing, or every 6 months or something. Just to kind of keep that momentum going.
Yeah, definitely. I've had my moments. Like, I'm not gonna lie, honest guy, face value. I've had my moments where I thought I've not done this justice. I've felt like I failed it. I'm very much a guy who gets excited at an idea, and then I'm all hell for leather. The moment that it doesn't sort of go my way, I fall apart a bit. I was talking to the Attic and thinking, should we get a bigger venue? I think this is going to be massive. We could sell out the Attic. It is a possibility. But I think if I'd have gone off on the way that I first walked into this project, I could have put myself in a lot of trouble, or made it look empty because I've gone for a bigger venue and not quite done it the justice. But
I just imagine you going into it. You're like, right, Leeds first arena, book it.
Yeah,
every room, boss, do it. No, the Attic will be boss. Like I said, if you could just being able to put that on the poster, like sold out, that would be awesome. Obviously, again, that's why I'm reaching out to everyone that look, can you just hype this up as much as possible? Because I was saying, I've not seen the matches announced anywhere near in enough places for my liking. I should be going everywhere and look. This should be all over socials. People know I don't scroll. I shouldn't have to scroll. As soon as I open up something, it should be there, bam, in my face. Like, crap. So yeah, I'm putting this out. Anybody who's watching this when this gets uploaded tomorrow, go on Paul's page, go on Work the Left Side's page, go on anybody else's page who's shared these matches and share them. Even if you can't go to the show, somebody that sees your share might go or will be interested in it, or will buy a ticket. So yeah, sorry, I kind of sidebarred there a little bit.
No, that's fine. Like, everything helps. We do have a GoFund page as well. I'll make sure that I put the link up for that. It's not like a way of me trying to do anything greedy. I'm not taking anything from this whatsoever. I paid for this belt. Jason contributed to it as well. The lad that had it designed, he kind of he feels he's part of this. Jason and his missus, they designed it. They wanted to stay in it, and so they've obviously contributed to that as well. But I have laid money out on it. I'm not interested in getting that back. This is something that I want to do. This is about I want to put onto the scene. I want the awareness to carry on. Whoever is to win the championship that night, if they can take it around the UK, if other promotions allow them to defend it at their shows. You know, it's a way of bringing this neurodiversity awareness into other promotions as well, and bringing a new wave of fans to them. If kids like to see the champion, you know, they could follow the champion. You know, people do follow wrestlers. Me and the kids, we followed Wesley. If somebody, you know, is inspired by whoever is going to take this championship, they will then be a ticket to another promotion. So it works both ways for wrestling and for the community. I just feel it's a great thing. I massively believe in it. But yeah, the goal fund is really to make sure that the show is good. The show should, well, I'm hoping it should at least break even for what it costs to put it on. Really, the goal fund is to try and give something to a charity as well. So it's hard to make money in UK wrestling. You know, any promoter will say that. Like me doing this show, I was flabbergasted how much it actually costs to put on a show. You know, I don't know how people do it. It's hard work. It's important that we support it. You know, any UK promotion, it's important to support. Important to support them. It's I'd struggle to do it again, to be honest. I'd see how it goes. You know, the work has been hard, but I think when we get to the day, the rewards, seeing new thing, I'll definitely probably want to do it again. Hopefully, my promoting career might be a bit longer than my wrestling career.
Yes, but yeah, you talk about obviously having the belt turn up in other promotions, mate. That would be awesome. I really, really hope that the belt gets to travel around, kind of gets to sort of advertise, you know, what it's intended to do, raise awareness as it's intended to do. You know, for exactly like, you know, if like Sean only wins it and then he rocks up at Blackheart, or you know, HT Drake wins it and he rocks up at Tidal, Aiden wins it and he rocks up at like Firestar or Kapow or somewhere like that, or you know, Gung Ho in all of his various promotions. It's just
yeah, there's so many places it can travel around, and it's a good thing. It may even bring, you know, a few promotions together. You know, have a bit of a working relationship. You may get invasion angles out of it. You know, where two promotions join up and have invasions, and it's all positive vibes. I feel from this. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's the whole point, isn't it? Like you sort of said, to build that community, to for people to work together, to accept everything and anything, and just be like, yeah, cool. But again, that's what we've talked about wrestling before. That's what wrestling can do. It can kind of do that. You know, we've been to enough shows where, you know, you go to any wrestling show, you look at the audience, we're just a happy misfit bunch of renegades. You know, every kind of human person there is can be seen at a wrestling show, but they're all there because they love wrestling, and you know, everybody will talk to everybody. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that is what this show will amplify, and then some. You know, it's going to take that and turn it up to 12. It's normally 11, but man, this is going up to 12. It's got that one extra. So yeah, got that. What charity is it for? You mentioned obviously the GoFundMe. You know, wanted to raise money for charity as well. Do you want to shout out the charity?
Yeah, so it's the Brain Charity, who Georgina, who is James Carr's sister. She has like a close working relationship with it. She deals a lot with you know, neurodivergencies and charities around it. So it was a recommendation that came from there. Like, I do know of the Raising Awareness for DLD, which is what I've sort of sponsored in the past, but this is more of an umbrella of all the different neurodivergencies. So that was a charity that came at the recommendation of like True Grit and the people within True Grit. So, and I'm happy for it for that to be supported.
That's it. You know, like I say, it's going to go out to a worthy cause. It will be just, yeah, man, that's the game. Like I said, you guys will, I think if all the pieces come together, as I'm sure they will, then it's going to be an amazing show. It's going to get hyped up. People are going to be talking about it, and it's going to do. I've kind of been like sitting on this. You mentioned it before we hit record, but I do kind of want to just mention it now because I think it's huge. I was going to use it as a bit of a sign off, you know, but
yeah.
Sorry, I put you on the spot with this, but I'm like, no, mate, this is too big. This is too good not to sort of talk about a little bit. Obviously, you know, you're going to be busy Monday morning, I take it.
Yes. So one of the treats that I have through the relationship that I've made with Wes is from him being on a TV program on BBC, The Gladiators. He has some contacts, and he's managed to get us a slot on BBC Radio Leeds at 7:50 a.m. on Monday morning to talk about breaking boundaries, wrestling, true grit, and neurodiversity, and summarize everything that we've spoke about tonight, and give the event a push. I'm really hoping that we can make something for charity. Like, I did hit a bit of a spot earlier in the week where I was embarrassed to even want to tag the charity because I felt like we were in a position where I might not even make anything for a charity, as much as we've sold some tickets and we've had a GoFund page to make the event happen. I felt like I was dangling a carrot for the charity to say, oh yeah, we're raising money for you, and then it turned out that we've not raised enough. So I'm feeling a lot more positive about it now. A lot of people have reached out recently. I'm seeing a lot of things shared. A lot of people are really helping, and I feel that with this BBC radio, that's going to be a massive help. Even yourself, sponsoring the event and doing this episode with me tonight, and all the people that you've worked with in the past, your reach of, it's something crazy like 80 countries listen to around the world.
97 now. 97 now.
Yeah. Wow. So, anyone out there, like, GoFund, anything like that, even if you're in another country, drop a pound in, £2 in. If a few people do that, it soon adds up, and it may be the difference between raising a good amount for the charity. The show will be what it'll be, whether we make enough money or not for the charity. But what a great feeling it'd be to be able to say we've raised something. We've, as well as putting on a good show, as well as putting a title out into the circuit, as well as introducing new fans, we're also making a donation to a charity that works with people, and they could bring another wave in, of people, say, like new fans. They could bring in more fans, and it bounces backwards and forwards.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah. We're throwing the pebble in, and we're getting momentum. I feel it. Yeah,
dude.
And it's obviously people.
That's it as well. You've got all the right people around you doing all the right things. Like I say, that radio thing is going to be huge. They wouldn't be giving airtime to something if it wasn't worth it, if it wasn't like a worthy cause, if it wasn't a great thing that was going on. So obviously, that will help. That will expand the reach. Shout out as well. Obviously, Hot Tag will be there as well. Talking of charities and good causes and great people. Obviously, they'll be there to help as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of great people that I've met throughout. Yourself included. Like, I've had hard times. Becky's had hard times. It's sometimes very difficult having, you know, a neurodivergent child. Not because of who they are, it's sometimes how people accept them, or don't accept them. You know, there's things that, you know, a parent shouldn't really have to worry about with the kids. Just something as simple as, you know, going to play football, whether the other kids are being nice to them or not. So, you know, we do have tough times, but, you know, I never forget, you know, word for word, your quote when, you know, we didn't even know each other then. You seen the kids having a great time with the Wesley wigs. And I've still got the clip on the phone when you said, I don't know who the guy is, but that is parenting done right. And, you know, that always sticks with me, that. I must admit, I was a bit late to the market with it, but when I was doing my final match with Nathan Black, I actually had that sound clip. I put it over the top of the song that I used. So when you said that his parenting done right, that was when I was going to walk out. But yeah, I was a bit late to the party getting that sent off. But yeah, it meant a lot to me, that. And yeah, you know, people are seeing it, and it makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. And if people see me in that community with Thomas, and that's what they take away from it, you know, I know that wrestling and people going to shows, it can help them with their children.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You know me well enough that obviously, yeah, you know, I said that before we even actually ever spoke. I didn't know you at that point. I'd seen you at shows. That's why, like the community kind of thing. I know, obviously, you were there, and obviously, yeah, you know me well enough. Just, I don't say something unless I mean it, you know. And generally, I'll always shoot from the heart. So if I say something like that, mate, it's 100%. I remember seeing those, you know, Thomas and Robbie, and just being dressed up, big smiles on their faces. Again, as a parent, you know, kids are the most important thing to me in that sense. You know, kids being happy, kids being safe, kids feeling comfortable, kids having confidence. Mate, that's the kind of shit that recharges my soul. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. So yeah, when I said that, 100%, mate, I was just like, this is. I like as well because I like dads who are dads. You know, they look after. You know, they step up. You know that. You know, the old say, you know, any dick can be a dad, but it takes a man to be a father. And yeah. That's what I saw, that's what I said, and that's why I said it, and I meant it, and I stand by it to this day. Even more so now, based on everything you've done, and obviously seeing Thomas grow over the last couple of years. You know, seeing the other kids as well, just taking shape, becoming awesome little human beings. Becca as well, you know, awesome parents. It's parenting done right.
Yeah, it is rewarding, and we've been able to do that because of pro wrestling. I guess at this, as much as I say, like my role is the bridge, it's kind of what I feel that I owe back for wrestling, giving me them keys to unlock the barriers within Thomas. You know, a lot of things have come on, like his confidence for sure has come on. Like he can perform, like when he does his drums in like concerts and stuff. He just has no fear. He has no nerves. And you know, like I sort of look back to when I was 10-year old, and if my dad had said, "Oh, you're going to go out to the ring and have a wrestling match with Big Daddy," because that's what the equivalent is, really. You know, like we see Big Daddy as, you know, it's a big deal now because obviously it's in the past. Like it was a big deal, but in future, you know, you never know where these wrestlers that we see in the UK where they can go on to, what their careers do. We've seen a lot of them over there, so who knows where Gungo Muttley could be in, you know, a few years' time, and then people will say, "Wow, you know, you had a wrestling match with him when you know you were 10-year-old." But yeah, I don't think that I could have done that. So the confidence within Thomas to go out there, and I think he did brilliant. You know, like his entrance was absolutely his timing and roaring to the crowd. Like I never ever thought he could do that. He really was. He was hulking up. He was demanding high fives. He was, come on, and yeah, it's just what a transformation, and that's been given to us. You know, that key has been given to us by pro wrestling. So, you know, we needed to do something back, and this is what I'm doing back now. And it's not my key just to wrestling. The key is obviously to neurodiversity as well, and helping both ways.
Yeah. Dude, that's it. You know, I said for a kid a couple of years ago, probably would have said boo to a ghost. Like I said, very quiet, to come out in front of an audience and demand eyes be on him. You know, literally, like sort of said, just looking at people, demanding high fives, getting the attention, getting the energy up, and just making sure the focus is on. I couldn't do it, man. That blows my mind. So yeah, that is amazing, and that is again, if I'm repeating myself, that is kind of the positivity that wrestling can have on kids. It can give them that confidence. It can build them up. It can make them that comfortable to stand in front of people, to have eyes on them, not to shy away, not to sort of, it could be like, back in the shell kind of thing. It can bring them out. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's obviously, again, the point of this show.
yeah, it just gets that mind working, and it's only healthy for the mind. Even other children that were in attendance when Thomas made that, they may have gone home that evening and thought, oh, if I was to do that, what music would I come out to? And it just, that's what wrestling allows. And I think for someone with a neurodivergence is nothing more healthy than, you know, getting that mind working and inventing your character, seeing who you want to be. And there's no safer environment to do that in than pro wrestling, because you can be anything, you can be anyone. So that's sort of the core of it. That's what we'll be talking about on Monday morning.
Yes, that's the kind of stuff. Yeah, get that out there. Obviously, it's just, I'm just hyped. I'm just really, really excited. I think it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing show. It's like sort of said, I've got nothing but love and admiration for you and Becca and the kids. You all are amazing, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. It makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I got
Excited.
I've got a little warm feeling, fuzziness in my tum tum. So like, yeah. Oh, it's like I'm eating a big bowl of porridge or something. It's like, yeah, I'm glowing. But dude, so yeah, obviously we kind of shouted out at the start. You said before, obviously, dude, make sure you send me the links. I will put all the details in the episode description. So obviously, if you're watching this after you finish watching this, click on the description, go in, look at all the links. Buy a ticket, share it on your socials, let people know what's going on. If you can, obviously help out with the GoFundMe, help raise some money for a great charity. But again, same with the tickets, same with the shows, everything. If you can't donate, that's fine as well. Obviously, everybody is financially in different places, but if you can't, share it. If you can't, somebody else might be able to. You sharing a post is the equivalent of maybe somebody else donating £5 or £10 because they've done it, because you've shared it and they've seen it on the back of you sharing it. So yeah, even if you can't donate, please still just share, and we'll get everybody's eyes on it. And it's a numbers game. The more people that see it, the more tickets that get sold, the more money that gets raised, the more awareness people have. It's going to be a massive snowball, building up momentum and just rolling down that hill.
Yeah, definitely. That is like it. I'm so grateful, all the shares that I see on it. Some people, they may be donating like £10, but I say if somebody can't donate £10, or sorry, as you say, if they can't donate, then if they share it to, their wall that contains 100 people, 5 of them may donate £10, and that's the effect. So you got £50 off a person that couldn't donate 10, or I'm just rolling off numbers here, but the importance of sharing. So yeah, it's good. But as I say, if you get a ticket, it basically is like a donation, but you're getting an awesome wrestling show out of it as well.
There we go, mate. So yeah, obviously I'll let you do the final plug. Obviously, we know it's in the attic. We know obviously it's in Leeds, but mate, sell it. Tell us when it is. Tell us what time it starts. Tell us the date. Tell us everything we're going to need to know to get to this show.
Yep, so it is on Sunday, the 26th of April. A little bit unfortunate that there is a certain football team that's in the FA Cup semi-final on the same day. So that's a bit of a negative towards it. Leeds United are playing the same day, but if you're not watching the football, then nip down to the show. That is starting at 3:00 in the afternoon. As you said, the attic, we're breaking boundaries and raising awareness for neurodiversity. Some great people on the show, some great people in the crowd as well. There's a lot of people that go to the True Grit shows. The same community that welcomed us in. That's an important thing to add as well. There's a lot of faces in that crowd who accepted us there. It's not a completely new crowd. Great buys from there. Great people that are working within there as well, not just the wrestlers in the ring. You've got the likes of Merchman Stu, you have Dan, you have Georgina, all great people and so welcoming.
Who's ring announcing?
Mark Adams is ring announcing. Now, Mark Adams, I had a really, really long chat with Mark Adams, and this is something that he really, really wanted to be a part of. He has links with people that have neurodivergencies, and he feels really, really strongly. So, it's going to be great having him ring announcing there. So.
Yeah, we love Mark as well. Yeah, he'll bring it to the show. He'll make it feel special. He will absolutely smash it out of the park. Is it being recorded? Is it going to be seen? Do we have a comms team or anything like that?
We do have a comms team. So my friend and Thomas's now new friend, Tom McManus, is making a return. He is going to be doing the commentary with making his debut in True Grit, so to speak, because it is in association with True Grit. I tried running it close to True Grit, so I am going to say True Grit. Dan Griffin is going to be doing the commentary alongside Tom McManus.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
I'm interested in hearing that. You know yourself through Work the Left Side. Dan puts a lot of effort in. If he's doing something like an episode, he has a load of notes and everything like that. He takes it very, very seriously, and I know that he's going to do an awesome job on that. He'll be great on the comms. I can't wait to hear it. And what a great guy as well. And I'm so glad that he's part of it. We're good friends within this like Work the Left Side sort of team that we do. And it's I can't wait to see that.
Right, that's going to be awesome. Obviously, anybody knows Thomas, knows the history with Meat Wagon. The fact that McManus is part of this show, again, is just amazing. It's just awesome. Obviously, great to have him back as well. Thomas isn't going to run up behind him and smack him back upside the head or threaten him or anything like that. They're friends now. They get on.
They're friends now, yeah. Tom McManus, I think he was back at Redemption. So he did the comms at Redemption, and they made peace after. So over the mutual love of Meat Wagon. So they're on good terms again now. So it'll be great. It'll be great.
That's amazing.
There as well.
But obviously, shout out to Dan. I've totally forgot. I feel like a jump, but I feel he's been doing comms for a promotion elsewhere. I've listened to a few things that he sent over, kind of thing. Yeah, Dan's Dan. I can listen to. Again, I love doing the episodes with you and him because I can just quietly sit the last episode we did when my mic went, mate, I was just quite happy to sit here listening to you two. Because and hearing Dad do comms is awesome as well. He's just
it's absolute word porn, isn't it? That's how I describe. Like when Dan's talking, it's just word porn. It's
it'll make Joey Slade make that face.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but I don't know what it's called. But it's Joey Slade's O face, we'll call it. Generally get it bounced around. Dude, I'm just hyped for this. I think so.
It will be on Triller as well. Sorry, I forgot to add that it will be on Triller.
It will be.
Some way, because obviously there's the weekly shows leading up to Last Rites, which is the next True Grit show, 8th of May, I believe, Friday, Left Bank. But we've got the weekly shows that are leading up to that, so I'm guessing that after the lead show, we could possibly build up, like break the show into segments, and then maybe that leads up to the York show, and then York back to the lead. So, it's going to be a lot of content for True Grit TV as well, which is good, and Triller. So, Triller's got the eyes as well. They'll see what we're doing as well. So, a no diverse show on Triller. That's an amazing thing to come from this as well.
That's it. So that's it, man. The network is there. It's spread around. Obviously, on the back of that, again, it depends. Obviously, like you say, when it drops on Triller, but it might be worth keeping the GoFundMe open a little bit longer after the show, dependent on, and try and get some of the eyes from Triller to put the hands in the pockets a little bit. Again, I don't know how it works. This is just me speculating. I don't know, what the crack is. But regardless, even if people watch on Triller, it's just getting eyes on it. It's just getting eyes on the awareness. It's getting eyes on the the subject, the topic. It's making people think about it. It's making people talk about it. It's making them aware of it. That in itself is job done. So mate, that's amazing.
That was it. That was what I wanted to do the show for, to get the eyes on it. The important thing was that I just didn't want to gain anything from it. So I just said, if we profit, it goes to a charity. I don't want to take anything from this, but other than what it is, and getting this belt out there, getting the show out there. So that's the idea of it going to charity. I don't want anything from it other than it to happen.
Yeah, mate, that is amazing. Obviously, obviously, I know everybody's watching this. We said it before. I'm not going to repeat myself. You know what to do. Look in the description, click on the links, do what you can. I'm going to try and obviously do an episode. Might not be a full length one. It might only be 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. We've got to try and get Wes on at some point as well. We'll get him talking about it. We'll want to be able to clip it, get it out the socials. Hopefully, sometime next week, when there's still enough time, left to get some more tickets sold. If any more need to be sold, it might be sold out by that point. In which case, I'll just get the pleasure of talking to Wes just for the sake of talking to Wes, which is always a good thing. But dude, mate, thank you so much. But let people know where they can find all the information they need to know about it on the socials.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sharing it on Paul's Wrestling Art, Instagram, Facebook, my own Facebook. I've created an event on Facebook called Breaking Boundaries. I've invited people that I know will come. So, if you do find yourself in that group, again, sharing the event, I'm putting all the matches as they've been announced on there. So that's where you can find it. The tickets are going through the True Grit page. That was just an easier way of doing it, because it's already set up for the True Grit show. So there's a poster on there. All the details are on the True Grit site as well. That's where you'll find everything. I'm looking forward to hearing what Wes says as well, because he's seen that transformation in Thomas. So I can't wait to hear what he's seen in Thomas and why it's important to him. The work that he does, the work that the wrestlers do. It'll be nice to hear that other side of it, when they realise that they've made a change to that kid in a positive way. So it'd be nice to sort of hear what his reaction is to it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I just need to. Obviously, he's a busy man, so it's just a
Yeah,
case of trying to grab him for X amount of time. But mate, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for doing this.
Thank
You know, on the behalf of loads of people, everybody who's going to benefit from this. You know, thank you. But yeah, everybody else who's watching, do what we said before. But also, if you get time, that's the priority. Do all that. And if you're still here, click like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we ask you to do. Keep your eyes peeled. Awesome stuff coming up. Well, I kind of want to do an episode after the show as well, just to talk to you how you felt it went, you know, all the good stuff, you know, because there'll be plenty to talk about. So I'd love to just be able to keep that awareness going even after the show. And we'll talk about it again.
Definitely open for that. Yeah. So anytime, you know, it'd be my privilege.
Matey. But yeah, so obviously, thank you for watching. And this is where I would normally tell you to remember to always work with the left side. But this time, I'm going to tell you just to remember to share this event, let people know about it, and hopefully, we will see you there. So, goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you.